And 1, 2, 3.
It's morphin' time!
Yes. Okay. Great. This video is brought to you by Krispy Kreme. Not really. We are not nearly popular enough for that.
Sponsor us, Krispy Kreme. Send us some free donuts.
Because,
we're plugging you.
Because Alex's friend is.
Because my friend ate all the donuts that we got to eat to get this. Tristan brought them the day before, and Matt ate all the good donuts.
They're all gone?
Most
They're
of
all
them.
gone. Oh, there's one left if you want a donut.
Yeah, I think you have some on your face, actually. So, the other side?
Oh.
There we go.
We'll fix that in post.
I love this beginning. This is my favorite one.
This is your favorite beginning?
Yeah.
Well, that sucks. Honey, I need you to keep an eye on that recorder, alright?
Why?
Just make sure that it continues to record.
Okay.
If the circle is on, then we're recording.
We're
Because I can't
recording.
see that right now.
Cool.
Alright, so what did we just watch, guys?
Power Rangers.
Go, go, Power Rangers!
We watched the fucking 2017 goddamn Power Rangers movie. This movie comes to you from my list because this movie is a treasure and had no right to be as good as it was, according to me. I'm sure we'll have some disagreements.
According to I mean,
we might have some disagreements.
I'm so excited for this one.
Okay, right off the bat though, you gotta agree with me that it had no right to be as good as it was.
It was exactly what I thought it was going to be.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
Screw off, Alex.
I would have liked some more karate fighting. It was a lot of Zord battles and not a lot of like actual karate for a movie about karate fighting teenagers.
We'll get to that, yeah.
I had the most fun I've had watching a movie in a long time. So
It is fun in a group. You know, if you're looking for something where you're like you and your friends like to sit around and shit on a movie, this is a prime movie to sit around and shit on. I don't think that's what Tristan wanted out of our experience.
I don't care.
I can shit on it, but I don't want to. I'm gonna hold it in.
It's fine.
I could watch this movie alone and really enjoy it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just start off where you should always start off.
Okay.
The beginning.
Oh! Wait, the beginning or the beginning?
I'd say they almost go hand in hand because of that, get your counter out, sexy transition.
That's sexy. Okay, we weren't rolling for, were we rolling for count 1? I think so, but sexy count is on 2. My favorite part of the beginning was I said, hey, that looks like Bryan Cranston. Well, good news for me! It was Bryan Cranston. I didn't expect him to be in this movie.
Oh, the moment I found out that he is
God.
Zordon, when I heard that he was going to play Zordon, I was like, this movie just gets perfect and more perfect.
It shocked me, and from that moment, I was just like, let's fucking do this thing.
Well, Bryan Cranston was, like, he played a few monsters in the original Power Rangers.
I didn't know that!
Yes.
I didn't, so, disclosure, so I had not seen this movie. Alex had not. These two have.
Saw it 3 times in theaters, in fact.
That's insane.
Wow.
It's not.
That's an insane statistic.
If it could make it onto my top 25 favorite movies of all time, then...
Yeah, that's like me and King Kong, which may not be on my list anymore.
Alright, well, see, this is why, like, I did my part about this not doing well at the box office.
Yeah. But what was I gonna say?
I also love the CGI in the beginning. It starts off
really
strong.
dope. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the transition of the cow and whatever that was there. That was
Sound transitions.
really good.
I'm sure you guys can see me looking at my phone, and here's why. It's because they never technically said what country Angel Grove is in, but they also establish... the only thing we know about location is that the meteor that killed the dinosaurs happened in Angel Grove. That meteor touched down to Angel Grove. So I was looking up where the meteor actually touched down that killed the dinosaurs, or where scientists think, and it's apparently in Mexico somewhere. Or in the Yucatan Peninsula, so...
I don't think they live in Mexico.
Well, but they do. That's the only thing we know about. Angel Grove must be in Mexico.
Okay,
that's...
Because it's the only hint to location they give us, is that the meteor that killed the dinosaurs was the thing that also killed Rita Repulsa for a time. Was caused by the Power Rangers.
Are we really digging this deep into
That's
this
not
right
that
now?
deep.
That's
the only
his MO, kind of.
That's the only information we were given in terms of where Angel Grove is located.
Well,
Okay.
I had no information heading into this because I have never really watched Power Rangers, which is my coffee. It's definitely this one.
Because that one has more in it?
Because it has milk.
Oh, okay. But no, Bryan Cranston is actually a huge part of Power Rangers history. In fact,
Awesome.
Billy Cranston, the Blue Ranger, is named after Bryan Cranston. I wrote it down too.
Her.
It's right there in my notes.
How's that? Oh, is his name Billy
Billy
Cranston
Cranston.
only in the movie, or is it Billy Cranston in the show as well? I remember
It's in
Billy.
It's in the show as well.
What? How did they know Bryan Cranston
Bryan
from when they did the show?
That I don't know, but it's still
'Cause,
Billy Cranston.
Like, were they just big Malcolm in the Middle fans, or?
I imagine so. Yes.
Alright.
Wait, Malcolm in the Middle came out before Power Rangers?
Power
It was,
Rangers
like,
came
around
out
the
in the
same
90s,
time.
so
My
I can check
brain
the
is
accuracy on this.
actually exploding right now. A little bit.
Maybe it was just
Let's
the
do
movie,
that in
but,
post.
So we
And
got
my brain
that car
explodes.
scene. In the intro, the car
Yeah,
scene.
that was
but,
pretty
like,
cool.
Oh,
that
my
like, tracking
God!
shot. That was all.
That was awesome!
Yeah.
Yeah, I wrote down dope transition at the beginning. This opening scene is fucking amazing.
Yeah, that kind of like long tracking
Yeah.
shot from them trying to get the cow in. I mean, they do have a couple of cuts, but like from them getting the cow in and then running off and then getting in the car and us watching where it like
And that
circles around back to
rotational
him.
shot
Yeah.
of everything happening around
Yeah.
him, and then the car accident, and then it goes black, and it just has Power Rangers in the bottom right corner. That was
I don't. Okay.
great.
I don't know about that. dude.
I
Like,
loved it.
I loved
the
it.
cut to Power Ranger. I did like all of that stuff to like that him being in the car crash
yeah.
is like an introduction to Jason. I don't know if I liked. I think I would have rather the Power Rangers cut to black happen after, like everybody dies. The original Power Ranger Bryan Cranston's character and Rita
Yeah.
Repulsa die, and then it says Power Rangers, and then we cut to the school. I thought it was
Nah.
weird that we cut to Power Rangers after Jason's.
I liked it.
No, I liked
I
it.
digged it. It was just
Gonna-
like
Alex and I are going to
Power
disagree a
Rangers.
lot on this one.
That's
yeah.
fine.
Yeah, I wrote down epic opening scene, despite the fact that it included jerking off Beefcake the cow.
Well, but it's not really the opening. It's the second opening.
that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
on
It's
to the
weird to
opening.
call one
Well,
an
it's like
opening.
one
and-
is the prologue and the other is the
Prologue?
opening, not prologue.
All right. I wasn't sure.
This is proof of people that have never said words or heard them out loud and have only ever read them.
I wasn't sure if you just have been saying prologue your entire life.
Yes.
No, really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yes!
Prologue it is.
I've never... This is the first time I've ever heard it out loud.
Prologue is correct.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
We're very qualified, we promise.
Ow.
Anyway.
She slammed her hand into a car door the other night.
No, it was just. It's not even that bad. It was a drawer.
Oh.
Yeah, it was a silverware drawer.
Well, you shouldn't do that.
Anyway. We've got a
Okay.
prologue, and we've got our opening sequence.
Yep. Roy's a papa now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got Roy
Another
from
great
Friends.
addition.
What? Friends?
Oh my god, what is wrong with me today?
Jesus Christ.
Tristan doesn't drink coffee.
I don't drink anything. So I can't have the excuse of being drunk either.
Yeah, stellar cast Roy.
Roy from The Office.
Yeah.
There's a Roy in Friends, I'm sure.
That's who that was.
Yeah, that's Jason's dad.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I have a question about Jason's dad then.
Okay.
That's his name, Jason.
Yeah, Jason is the
Okay.
Red Ranger.
I know we're gonna-
Jason's dad. is
We're
the
skipping
character's
all
name.
the way to the end here. He put that little newspaper clipping up on his fridge
Yeah.
and like smiled at it proudly. Does he know?
Of course he knows.
Oh my god!
He's the first intelligent
He's
character.
much smarter than Buttercup. Okay.
They broke. That's
Princess
like.
Bride reference.
That's the first rule of the Power Rangers. Is you can't.
Yeah,
You're not
reveal
supposed to
your
tell
identity.
anybody.
But he didn't tell anyone. The guy just figured
So
it
does that
out.
mean Jason's dad's gonna be the bad guy in the next one?
No, it's
No.
not.
Give Roy more
He's
screen
just a
time.
proud dad.
He's a
you
good
know?
bad guy.
An intelligent proud
An
dad.
end of his
You know how
character
many
arc.
parents in movies can't pick up on the voices of their kids? Which is so unrealistic.
Buttercup.
Or the love of your
Their
life.
Yeah.
Not his eyes or his facial features.
Well, she talked about his
To
eyes.
be fair, Jason had not grown a mustache that Roy could have seen.
True.
I would
Mustache
like
covers
to
all.
point out that from the beginning, they're all always wearing their color.
In
I
some
noticed
regard.
that like halfway
Yeah.
through. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that was a nice touch.
There was only one weird moment where the Pink Ranger was wearing a blue,
Shirt.
and I was like, why
It
is she
stood
wearing
out to me
blue?
too. That was really weird.
Yeah.
When they were trying to morph,
Yeah.
she was wearing a blue tank top.
Mhm.
Yeah. that
Well, they
was
weren't
odd.
always just wearing solely their colors. It was kind of
No.
just like elements
No,
of
but
their
it was-
colors.
That stood out.
But it stood out because like that's already one of the other Rangers' colors.
Right.
So her wearing it is like a solid color
Right.
tank top.
And whenever there were scenes where they were like just by themselves, their colors would always tint around them.
Yeah.
So the pinks one-off shots were covered in pink. The reds had red. There was a really cool shot of Billy opening up his locker and his blue binder was reflecting on him.
That was cool.
And
red bathroom cracked me up. The red Power Ranger had a red bathroom. I was like, when did anyone ever have a deep dark red bathroom?
oh,
To cover up the blood, yeah.
when Zordon is talking in the close-ups, you can even see red reflecting around him.
Yeah.
Because he was the Red Ranger.
Yeah, I did notice that.
So a lot of
Is
care
that-
went
is that
into this movie.
Canon to the original
No.
Power Ranger? Okay.
No, this is-
Yeah, I was
Also,
gonna say, I
when
didn't
they're
think so.
picking up the stones, they only pick up their stone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like when they're looking through them.
That was interesting.
True.
Black Ranger went in on that shit. I like him. I think he's my favorite.
The Black Ranger?
Yeah, I don't know why. He's quiet.
Zack?
Yep.
Yeah, I wasn't.
He was a very undeveloped character in this
Yeah,
movie.
yeah,
It was-
yeah.
Maybe that's why I liked him. 'Cause I
Yeah,
wanted
he
to
had no character except for like,
quirky.
I'm the crazy guy, I do crazy stuff.
That
And then he
wasn't
would, like,
just what he had.
That's all he had. And he had his mom.
The
Yeah.
mom part was so sweet. When
He was
he
like-
yelled out to the
Yeah, it
heavens, my mom
And,
is the best.
You know, it was his idea
we'll get to
that
that.
they all needed to know each other better. So yeah, I stick with my decision. I like him.
Yeah.
I think
I
he's
like
great.
him a lot. And he was super ballsy, you know? They were all super willing and accepting of their powers and jumping over cliffs.
Sometimes. And then they would be not accepting, and they'd be accepting, and then not
Aliens?
accepting. Yeah.
What?
That's bullshit.
No.
Sounds like a bunch of horseshit to me.
Upside down Waterland? Okay. We'll get to that. Let's go down the line here.
Well, the next thing I had was just line appreciation time.
Did you just slap me? I did. Weird, right?
That was good. Also, I didn't know that Ed Sheeran was the bully in this movie because it totally looks like him.
Speaking of the bully, this is my first gripe with this movie, which is not just in Power Rangers.
He's got a lot of them.
People tend to do this a lot, where it's like to establish the bully character, but like not really. He just comes in and finds Billy and is like, "You're a freak," and then just like breaks his shit. And it's like, I knew bullies in high school, and no one was that aggressive. Like walk up to a person who most likely is a complete stranger, or like maybe just like pass a couple times, like, "What's up, freak?" Breaks your shit, walks away. It's like I don't believe that there's someone that
I'm gonna
insane.
snap
Well,
your
he's
wrist.
clearly looking at him.
Jesus Christ!
Everyone in this movie, aside from Billy, is a crazy person. Like, it's not just a
I
bully.
love your theory. Fan theory.
Yeah.
Best fan
And
theory
then
to come out of this.
Somehow they've like diagnosed Billy with autism because he's the only one in this world who makes any sense. Everybody else does the literal craziest thing that they could possibly do at any given moment. And Billy's like, guys, maybe we should like consider our options and be logical here. And they're like, you're autistic. And I don't know if that's the case. I think he's just normal. He's normal in a town full of insane English-speaking Mexican people.
I thought it was interesting, like, him falling into the water transitioned into him being the leader. Like, the one, well, not, obviously the red one's the leader, but he was the one that was guiding them to everything.
Yeah,
He was the uniting force.
Yeah.
He's definitely
Which is also
his
super
right-hand man.
tropey and dumb that like there has to be a death for them to come together.
Yeah, that
I thought that was like very cliche and tropey, and I wrote
They
that as
didn't
my
come
note.
together before he died.
Well,
though.
but it took
Yeah.
him dying to morph.
They still hadn't morphed.
But
They morphed
after he
was
died,
back.
Also, it was
Yeah,
kind of
whatever,
redemption.
still.
Oh god, what is happening?
It's fine. It's fine.
What's
Him-
his name? Zoran? It
Zordon.
was kind of redeeming for him too because he was kind of being an asshole.
yeah.
Zordon is not that much of an asshole in
He-
the original.
Oh, he's
but
just
he
like a
was
computer
being an
program in
asshole.
the original.
He's something. I don't know
Yeah,
what he
he's
is.
just like he doesn't have like his own thoughts and feelings.
He's got no
Like,
arc
yeah.
in the original.
Yeah, he's just like a vehicle to give plot.
I liked him in this one.
Well, yeah, because he's a character coming
Yeah.
through one of those like, you know, the things that you just stick your head in. Those
Yeah,
little
yeah,
metal
yeah.
things.
Yeah.
The push pin things.
There it is, the push pin
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
Oh no. Well,
What?
Black Ranger is my favorite Ranger, but he's not my favorite character in this movie.
Who's your favorite character?
Alpha.
Alpha.
Oh my
Alpha
God.
5 is very. He was my favorite character in the original when I used to watch the cartoon.
How?
I just loved him. He just looked cool. He
He
looked-
just look cool.
Yeah, but he was such a pussy.
yeah, but he was like cool and like the comic relief, and I don't know, I liked him. I liked his toys and stuff.
Well, noting again the stellar cast, Bill Hader.
Yeah, he was
Killed
great.
it.
Alpha.
Killed it. He's like
They
their
gave
little
Alpha a
cheerleader.
complete redesign from the originals in this movie.
Which was correct. They needed to.
It was.
Yeah.
I know, I love the suits and I love the galaxy stuff that they do.
Yeah.
It's super cool. Loved it. Yeah, Bill Hader's like my like movie guardian. Like any movie that he's in, I'm gonna love
Gets
it.
bumped up a little.
I'm gonna love it.
He was good.
I love his little cameos in all the movies that I love. Like I just rewatched Pineapple Express.
He was
the
so
other night.
good in that opening scene.
What the fuck? I totally forgot he opened that movie up, and I went back and I watched it one more time before I started like the actual movie because I just completely forgot. And I really do think that's gonna be taken over King Kong for me because the movie just does it for me. But Bill Hader.
He had one of my favorite lines in cinema history.
Yes.
I always laugh when I see this moment. You all know you could be murdered, right?
Bill Hader.
That sticks with
delivery. Yeah, that's hilarious.
I'm ashamed that I can never have that exact line in any of my scripts.
I just loved all of his little side comments while they're all morphing. He's just like, wait, what did he say? I wrote it down.
He's like, yeah, morph. He's just.
And he was like, Zords just like, do they feel? And he's like, yeah, they do. He's just their little cheerleader.
They didn't morph.
I love him.
It's very disturbing. It's not correct.
It was so when they were trying to. Oh my god. See, we're laughing so. This movie is it's a joy.
It is. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Also, like, the beginning gives me lots of Breakfast Club vibes.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely what they were going for.
Definitely.
Although, I didn't think at times there was enough distinction between, so you like Billy and Jason are like pretty clear characters.
Yeah.
But all of the other ones, a lot to me, like blend together.
Yeah, I would
like
agree.
both Trini and Kimberly are just like, we're
Angsty.
these angsty girls who aren't like other girls.
Don't agree. Whatever.
And they have nothing that like separates them. In fact, like I don't think Trini got a line of dialogue until like an hour of the movie had passed.
She was very quiet. She had an inner struggle.
Yeah, her personality was I don't talk to people, which is a weird personality to give
That's
someone.
all you got?
I mean, I'll agree. I don't think
But then she has a long monologue of like, I don't want to be like my average family. We're super average and we travel all the time. And I was like, that's not really like a struggle. That's like a very high schooly kind of like.
I think she was also struggling with her sexuality too.
Yeah, which they like touched on like super lightly.
Yeah,
but
Which
I
is
don't
how
think
you do it, in my opinion.
No, I know, but like none of those I felt. I don't think her, Kimberly or Zach really got much of a personality because we spent so much time on Jason and Billy, which was great, and Jason and Billy were great. But I thought that those three really got like
underdeveloped.
Yeah, and like very much blended together.
I would agree with that, but I will say I don't think like I would put this movie on my list personally for the writing. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the best, but overall, like it's just a good time.
Yeah, and it was I thought we spent a lot of time like on very like. I don't know, like them entering into the spaceship the first time, them jumping in the water, and everybody has to jump over the cliff one by one, right? So we have to watch each slow motion jump over the cliff, and everybody's got to do it. And then we got to watch everybody jump into the water one by one, and then we got to watch them each explore underwater one by one, and then we got to watch each them like go into the spaceship and then walk around the spaceship, and all in all, it's like 20 minutes. And I'm like, we could have really spent some of this time on developing these other non-Jason or Billy characters.
There was some
but
pretty
instead
beautiful
there's like
shots, though.
Yeah, we got to do a lot of pretty shots of like underwater physics.
I got that next on my list to talk about the cinematography.
You're not.
But that's fine, and it was cool and it looks nice, but like in terms of like what we had to lose in order to get all those shots was like 3 whole characters, it seemed. And I don't know if it was worth it. It wasn't for me, but I'm the writing guy, so of course I'm always going to think about the script first over just the like pretty shots of
I set
underwater.
aside my analyzing of the acting because it was
nobody really had to act.
A blockbuster.
Yeah.
But I feel like I don't know. How do you feel about the writing and acting portions of it?
Honestly, when you look at what you were, what I was expecting, based on how Power Rangers is, which I was a huge Power Rangers fan.
Know. Like,
I thought that they just took the cheesiness of the original Power Rangers and just ran with it in a very modern kind of sense.
Yeah. Which I think could be confusing to someone who isn't familiar with the origin of Power Rangers.
But that's the thing. I don't know who initially went and saw this movie not having seen the Power
Yeah.
But at the
Rangers
same
growing
time,
up.
there's like, because you could say, okay, in one way we want to like heavily reference the original Power Rangers, but on the other side you could say like, well, what if we just do like J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek? It's like
I
we
think that
really
would've
can
been
kind of
pretty cool.
ignore
You can-
everything that happened before and
Yeah.
just make our own franchise that's really more loosely based on the
Yeah.
Power Rangers and like
I
still
still
keep
think
this
it is,
like.
I still think it is loose.
Yeah, I mean I do too
I mean,
because like.
it was to me, and I liked it. It's like they took this really cool concept of these heroes and made the story, but the part that kind of slapped me in the face with, okay, now they're just kind of completely referencing and taking from what I imagine is from the TV show when they're running and they're, what do you call
The
them?
Zords,
And the fucking
and they're
theme
playing
song
Go-Go
is
Power
playing.
Rangers.
It was so out of place,
that
but I was
was
just
too
like,
much.
okay.
That was too much.
It was too much.
And we didn't need that.
Yes, we did.
See, you're too torn.
I am
You
torn.
won't let it be its own thing. Like,
I'm fine with
its own
that.
thing.
All right.
Yeah.
I did like that Keely. Is that her name? The other one.
Trini is
Trini.
the yellow one.
No one can get Trini's name.
I did like that.
Just mad.
She was the one that was concerned about, okay, we're this right now, but are we going to continue being this? Because, like, as someone who's moved a lot, like, people get so attached to, like, friendships, and then they just let them fizzle out. I like that she was the one that touched on that concept.
Yeah.
Well, I think what they established was that they had created a bond that was unbreakable.
Yeah, they did a good
would die
job
for
making
each other.
me
I really-
believe that everybody was a friend.
Yeah, I liked
Like-
that kind of climactic point of them saying, like, I would give my life for yours.
Yeah.
That was very touching. I was definitely crying at that moment. So, props to the writing there.
Yeah.
And that particular
No,
scene
I-
after Billy
Movie
dies.
can make you cry.
It was
It
nice
did.
to have that idea of, like, they all were, like, separate,
Yeah.
loners or whatever, and then they came together. And, like, I think they did a good job, like, establishing them being, loners.
Yeah.
But I just didn't think we got enough fleshed out with the two girls.
Well, in the original,
Kimberly a little bit more
Yeah.
than the others. Than Trini and Zack, who I felt like we really got nothing
Which
from.
I feel like they started featuring them as the character, as we were seeing Jason and Billy
Yeah.
later in the movie, but I didn't have the same kind of attachment to their characters.
Yeah.
I didn't care about them as much.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I really only cared about Billy. He was the only
Billy's fantastic.
person who made any sense. Which, speaking of
Which is why I cried.
this is my note, this is from early on, about Jason and how he is an insane person. And,
Great.
like, and it's good that even he referenced it later, where he was like, I always mess everything up because I make stupid decisions. I'm like, yeah, you really have just made a long list of really, really dumb decisions. And so this is him. So after detention, he goes to Billy's. Right, but first he goes home and he's like, okay, I'm not gonna hang with Billy because of my
House arrest.
house arrest. I'm on house arrest. And then he goes home and then he sits at home, listens to his dad complain about him, and then he zooms off to Billy's house. And then he gets to Billy's house with 4 minutes to do the bracelet. It's like, dude, you should have realized on your way over, like, I'll never make it in time and turn back around. And he runs in the house, it's like, you have 4 minutes. Like, poor Billy's gotta be like, what the hell? Like,
But
I
not
can't do
only
this in 4
was Billy,
minutes.
like, not even fazed by
Yeah.
it, but then Jason kept like, Billy, you have
Yeah.
to do this. This is,
Yeah.
we're running out of time. But he's
Yeah.
like, he's doing it.
It's like, why even go if they're really running out of time? So that was an insane decision. All right. Then he goes to the little mine with Billy, and then after like some portion of time where they're like carrying gear and stuff, he just suddenly is like, you know what? Never mind, Billy, and turns around and walks
that
away.
did confuse me.
Yeah, he turns around and walks away, and then he like stops at a lake because he doesn't go to the car or anywhere that makes sense. Somehow he's in the lake. He sees a girl he's got a crush on who dives in the water and then teleports behind him somehow. Don't really.
That was really funny.
Right? So, and then he's like, oh, hey, you're this girl that I have a crush on. And she's like, you don't really know me. And he's like, you want to run away together? And she's like, yeah, maybe. And he's like, let's steal Billy's car. Like, what the hell, man? It's like...
He's angsty.
Like, you go to the mine, you don't walk away to the car, you just wander around aimlessly until you find a girl you've got a crush on, and then offer to, like, literally skip town with her in a car you're
Were
about to
you
steal.
never a teenager?
From your one friend who, like, seconds ago you threatened to beat up a random bully for, and then you're like, yeah, but I'll steal his car. If you want to have sex, let's steal his car and go. Like, that's
It's the power of the boner.
insane decisions out of
Can't
Jason.
clap because of my hand, but I really want to right now.
I was like, I'm out of this
Oh
dude.
my god.
I was like, how is Billy the autistic one here? Jason is the autistic
That is a
one.
strong argument. I'm sorry, it is. But I still love it.
So yeah, no, I can't I can't with Jason's character, really. And then I guess like that's the way they're gonna shuffle under the rug is that after Billy dies, is like, I always make stupid decisions and I'm so sad about it. It's like, stop making stupid decisions then. Whatever. Anyway, here's my little rant.
I enjoyed it.
Continue with your next
That was fantastic.
point.
I wanted to talk about the cinematography.
Oh, yeah. I said,
really
who the
nice.
hell is the DP? Because these shots are fucking gorgeous.
They are. His name was
Amazing.
Matthew. I don't remember his last
Thanks,
name.
Matthew. Great
Matthew.
job. They
I
really
would
were.
definitely say the only place that falls short is the writing. The cinematography, the sets,
I don't
the
know.
CGI.
Acting was good.
The acting. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it was just bad writing, though.
That actor who plays Billy he's
amazing.
in a movie called Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl, which nearly missed my top 25. He's
I
Earl,
love
and
that
he
movie.
is insanely good in that movie. You guys, sorry Tristan, instead of watching Power Rangers, go out and watch Me, Earl, and the Dying Girl.
Or watch both.
Or watch both.
It's
but,
4 hours of your life.
But if you're only going to watch one, it should be Me, Earl,
You
and the Dying
should
Girl.
definitely watch this movie at some point in your life.
Yeah.
because like really, honestly, everything else is solid. And we'll see what happens with the writing of the next one. Maybe they'll bump it up to meet
that's-
the standard.
That's
That
kind
would
of
be
where
good.
I left off. Like when this movie was over, immediately I'm like, is there a sequel coming up? Because I want to see this. I want more of these people.
I do think that like part of that, because I thought the same thing. I asked Tristan right at the end, is like, is that sequel greenlit? I probably would see a sequel, but only because I do feel like they set grounds for like more interesting characters that I
Yeah.
just don't think it delivered on. Like if they take some time to flesh these characters
Yeah.
out in a sequel, I would love that.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of Breakfast Clubby vibe of like high schoolers who are Power Rangers. They call themselves superheroes. I don't even know if that's like technically correct.
No, it's definitely a superhero movie.
Yeah. I would like to see more of them kind of
Yeah.
like, whatever, hash out their differences. Although I'm afraid that a sequel would inevitably just be like, they would split up again and then have to come back together in the end, and we'd have to watch basically the first movie over, where they, in the opening sequence, lose a battle and then they all get in a big fight, and then we launch like little individual journeys that bring them back together, and that would be boring. I'd rather them stay the whole movie together. Like
You're
they're
already
together in this
critiquing the movie
I
that
was-
hasn't been written yet.
I would just
because
like,
that's what they'll do. It's
I
what
would
they're
like
gonna
more
do.
fleshed
I'm
out
gonna be
characters.
introducing that new character.
Oh, Tommy, yeah.
Which
yeah.
Tommy
The
might be a
green
girl.
jacket.
Okay.
Oh, dope.
They might
cool.
make Tommy a woman.
I like that. Well, yeah,
In fact, the Red Ranger said he wanted, the actor that plays the Red Ranger said, I want Tommy to be a woman.
That'd be cool.
Awesome.
I wonder if they would make a love story out of one of the guys and Tommy,
Well, you know,
or maybe even Trini
Billy!
and Tommy.
maybe.
I want to see Billy get some
Yeah.
love.
Yeah,
Billy deserves
Literally.
it. He died.
a Blue Ranger sex scene. No, we're not in on that. We don't want a hard R Power Rangers.
No.
Well, I do, but not for that reason.
It would have to be colors that look good together. So I would say yellow's out.
Yellow, yeah.
Yellow and green.
Oh, but
go
if-
together.
You know,
Oh my
like
God,
a
but what
Sprite
if-
motif.
But
I would
actually,
like that, actually.
the Green Ranger is made up of yellow and green.
Yeah.
His costume is yellow and green.
Oh, okay.
Oh, shit.
Well, he is white. He becomes a White Ranger eventually
He does, when he's good.
too. Yeah, and it's like gold and.
That's really cool.
They did. I did like how they mentioned that Rita Repulsa was a ranger and that her suit is green. So presumably that's where the Green Ranger will get his Power Ranger suit from. Is that he will take the coin off Rita Repulsa?
Yeah, that's how it was in the
It'll be
original.
in space?
Okay, yeah.
If it's a romance, it would be green and red
She's in
because
space.
green and red
She is in
are
space. I don't know how he's gonna get in
corresponding
space. But
Christmas, they'll be the Christmas couple.
Yeah. Did you give me?
I did.
red and
Yeah.
green, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make it a Christmas movie.
I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Release
I
in
just
December.
I would like more character development because I didn't care about the characters as much as I'd like to.
Yeah.
Oh, I cared
To,
about
en-
them.
Only
to enjoy
Billy.
it. No, I cared about Jason and Billy and
I mean, don't get me wrong, they killed off the right one for us to care.
Yeah, I mean they did the
Yeah,
right
they
thing.
did.
Although it was like hard to ever believe that he was dead for good.
I
We'll
did
get
it,
to
but I was
that.
really getting there, dude.
That's, I have that in my notes.
Okay.
Like, I mean, I guess we might as well talk about that
Yeah.
right now. First of all, let's just go back to the beginning to when it happened.
Okay.
Zordon won't respect me if I don't kill you, at least one of you, and then immediately, bam, kills Billy. Like,
Yeah.
no hesitation, just
Cutthroat.
Billy's gone. And then Billy does stay dead for a bit.
He does, and it was starting to freak me out.
Long enough to make you think that he is gone.
Yeah.
And then when, like, Zordon is doing his whole thing, they do just enough to make you think that maybe Zordon did just come out of the blue.
For a second, I thought that Zordon was going to come back in the form of Billy. But I was also
Alright.
kind of upset about that because I really like
Yeah, it
Billy's
would've been weird.
character. It would have been really weird.
Yeah, it would have been weird.
Yeah.
I never really thought that Billy was dead. because they hadn't even put their suits on. I mean, I guess you totally would have seen Billy in his suit, but I still was like, there's no way.
I don't know.
You can't kill off, like, they're not. It's not the type of movie.
It was beautiful.
But again, they kept him dead just long enough to make you consider it.
And
Not me.
that scene
Somebody,
between, like,
you're a genius.
him dying and then bringing him back to the ship. What were they playing? Stand By Me?
Yeah, that was a beautiful cover.
They
Stand
drop
By Me.
him in the water.
Yeah.
My fucking heart.
Yeah, that was a really...
I really was, like, there were tears flowing out of my eyes, and I was trying to hold them back, because I was not exactly embarrassed about it, because I cry a lot, but I was just kind of taken aback by how much it affected me emotionally, and it was just kind of the, the combination of the song and your, like, caring for Billy's character, and I just,
No, I don't like that idea of, like, sad. Avengers did it, this did it. Like, every kind of action movie is like, okay, if we want this group of misfits to come together, we have to kill somebody off, so they'll, like, want revenge. And it's, like, a very kind of, like...
Well, it's a standard hero arc.
Yeah, it's a standard hero. But I don't know, it's the same thing we were talking about before. It's like, they had a chance to be something better than that. They didn't have to go that route. Nobody had... I don't think a lot of people had any expectations going into this, aside from just, like, traditional Power Ranger stuff. So you had a chance to do something not...
I think it worked, though.
Cliche.
I do think it worked.
It's a really quick way to get a point across. So what would you do differently if you could...
I mean, like, the idea of Billy being, like, that kind of leader is a good idea, but I don't think him just, like, being the one to die needed to be it. Like, if anything, when they find out about Rita Repulsa or something, you just have Billy go alone and be losing, and then one person shows back up to back him up, and then another person shows up to back him up, and they, like, slowly form around Billy's willingness to die, but not actually having to die. Like, as long as you establish that Billy is willing to die for the greater good being, like, humanity and life, then you establish exactly what we want, and he doesn't have to physically die for it to happen, and then we have,
your willingness to do that action. That's actually, really major, like, sideswipe here. Just for the fun of it, because it's aesthetically pleasing, I'm watching the new season of Sabrina on Netflix.
I have not seen it yet, but I do want to.
And the writing has actually gotten kind of interesting this season, and they do that.
Yeah.
And Sabrina has, like, signed her name in, like, the Book of the Beast.
Get ready for some spoilers for Sabrina.
Yeah, sorry. And the whole shebang with one of the episodes is the Dark Lord having to call upon Sabrina. The show's really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of weird. But the Dark Lord has to call upon Sabrina to do something without any question. And, like, we have this episode of her kind of going to her family members and friends who are also warlocks and witches and asking them, like, what did he ask you to do? And every time they were like, well, I had to hold onto this box, or I had to write a letter. Just some mundane things. And they were like, well, when I smashed the box open, it was empty. When I wrote the letter, I don't know what happened. When I sent it to this person, it was just kind of a weird thing. And he asked her to set her school on fire, and she went to go do it. And he told her to stop right before he did, because he just wanted to see the willingness to do it. Yeah. It was actually very effective.
Yeah.
And way better than her actually burning it, or someone actually holding on to this little empty box for the rest of their life. Like, it showed your willingness to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good writing technique.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that accomplishes it without having to do, like, as, like, that much melodrama, and has, like, more of an inspiring tone than, like, a overwrought melodramatic tone.
Mm-hmm.
But
the way that redeemed it, like, they redeemed it for me by Zoran, like, kind of sacrificing his own chance to come back.
Yeah.
And giving that life to Billy.
Yeah. So he becomes a part of the team as much and proves his worth.
Exactly.
Because before they kind of set him up to be kind of like an aloof asshole.
Yeah.
And so he needed a redemption.
His motives of, like, training
and
them.
So they did need to set that, like, a way for Zoran to redeem himself, which if he doesn't sacrifice his physical form, Zordon
with the D.
Sorry.
To redeem that and sacrifice. It's been a while since I watched the original cartoon.
It was a cartoon.
Whatever, you know what I mean.
No, I don't.
It was like a cartoon.
It's getting hot on this couch. Woo!
Oh yeah, my mom's gonna be very upset that I watched this movie. We were not allowed to watch Power Rangers after kindergarten. My brother and I, because we would, apparently I was told after we watched an episode of Power Rangers, we would just immediately start fighting, and my mom tried desperately to curb this, and she could not, so she just banned Power Rangers.
So you're gonna go fight your brother now?
Yeah, well, he's in Virginia, so it's gonna be tricky, but,
Alex doesn't have the energy for that.
I would certainly like to.
It's morphin' time. Get your pterodactyl thing.
Yeah.
What is it called
Zord.
again?
Zord.
It's called a Zord.
And he's
Zordon. Oh, wow.
No, the pterodactyl.
Yeah, it's a Zord.
Pterodactyl Zord.
Yeah, they're different Zords.
Yeah, so I'm guessing from
Those were
what
cool.
the movie said, a Zord is like an organism, and then when it turns into the most powerful thing on that Earth, on the Earth that it's on.
Oh.
So like I'd imagine it's different things on different planets.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
kinda
neat.
Cool. I like
That's
it.
what they were saying.
I'm very interested in this whole Power Rangers universe. Like, I really didn't know much about it, and I'm digging it
All
a
right.
lot.
We can get into
Oh god.
more of the characters being insane people, which you also wrote a note about this, and I.
Really like
I was
Yeah.
Yes.
So I have.
Hold on.
So they're jumping off the cliffs and they're like leaping 50 feet. yeah. Like 50 feet over this, whatever rock chasm.
I wrote down they are ballsier than Spider-Man making that first
and
leap
they're
over
just
the building.
like
Just immediately.
They're just like, okay, this is cool, and then they get down to the alien spaceship, which we're like, we're in an
even
alien
before
spaceship.
that, they just jump down and fall and plummet to what could be their
and
their
then
death.
they're like going upside down in water
water.
into a spaceship, and then they get in, and then Alpha 5 shows up, and he's like, "You guys are the Power Rangers," and rather
An
than
explanation, a logical explanation.
and rather than them asking like, "Oh, can you expand on that?" they immediately all start plotting to kill him. Like, if he doesn't let us out, we're gonna murder this guy.
Human thing to do.
But like,
It's the kill the unknown.
he's like, I know, but he's saying,
But
like,
is leaping over giant cliffs not the unknown?
It would have been so much cooler if their like stones were giving them some sort of signal to go there.
I
Yeah.
mean, like, but that's what I'm
That
saying. Is
would've
like
been
they
really
know that their
cool.
stones were found kind of around there. They know that they have these powers. This guy clearly knows who they are and is calling them the Power Rangers. And like, we should kill this robot.
Get the fuck out of here!
It's like, dude, why not let the robot like speak his
Explain.
piece?
And then like it's like, oh, this wonderful responsibility. You have
Yeah.
to save the universe, and here's
Yeah.
this whole story, and
Yeah.
here's this fucking
And they're like-
head coming out of a wall. And they're like,
Yeah.
this is some bullshit, guys. We
Yeah,
gotta fuck out of
that's the
here.
other thing too. So then finally they agree to stay and not kill Alpha 5, thank God. And then they start explaining all the stuff about, okay, you are Guardians of the Universe, you're Power Rangers, there's this entity named Rita Repulsa, she used to be a Power Ranger, but now
And they
wants to
he even shows
them Rita Repulsa, and he's like, we have to stop her from exterminating all life.
And they literally say, though, that was really realistic. We felt that.
And then they walk on the ship and they're like, well, that's a load of shit. It's like, you just leaped 50 feet over a cabin.
No, but then they sleep on it and they come back the next day all
like,
together.
all right, maybe it's real. After like a good night's sleep, they're like, well, you know what? Maybe we should hear that wall out. Like,
Well, I'd say it's human nature,
Ow!
okay? Hear me out on this, alright? And I don't even know if I'm gonna make sense because this thought just occurred to me. Look, this whole time, they've been having fun. They've been jumping over cliffs. They've been swimming. This is all really, really neat. But all of a sudden, they're hearing the first thing about this that maybe they don't want to hear, okay? I'd say that's very human nature to kind of say,
Well,
okay, this is cool,
Run
but
away from problems.
this is now a problem
that
for me.
should-
I'm going to sweep that under the rug for a little bit.
that should be the conversation is like, look, man, we didn't want any of this. We just got these stones. We shouldn't have any responsibility based on the stones. I don't care if they chose us or not. We don't think they chose us. We found them. They didn't find us. Right? Because the Zordon is saying,
Stop rewriting this
the
movie.
stones found you. And their logical thing would be like, no, we found them. We just got
Yeah.
these powers. We want the powers. We're not going to do your dirty work for you. Right? That's a logical explanation. Not to say, like, we don't believe you. We only believe the
Damn
parts that we
it.
want to believe.
Yeah.
He's right.
That's yep.
Don't
Yep.
worry, guys. I haven't started loving this movie any less.
That's okay.
It's still
Alright.
good. It's totally fun.
Yep.
Visually, it's very fun. Like,
I did like that Rita Repulsa was a
She
little
brings it.
and she
Yes, she does.
She even would point out
She's
like
very
the
unrecognizable in this
ridiculousness of the Power Rangers. She has that line which
Yeah.
is like one of the lines I really liked when she says, "Oh look, they found their costumes in their dino cars." And I was like, I don't know how she knows the word costume or like it knows enough English to put together dino cars, but I like she's being real sarcastic even though like she was a Power Ranger for a while. I was like,
Yeah.
this is so ridiculous and over the top. Like, she
love
knew
it.
it. And
I
so
love it.
she got to say all
Oh,
this
the Pink
things.
Ranger had one line. Like, go ahead.
so if she can figure out how to do all of that, like, conjuring, does
Yeah.
that mean they can?
What do you mean?
I think that comes from her
could-
staff.
Yeah, where I would have liked... But her staff was just made of the gold. She has some kind of, like...
That she was eating, also.
Telekinetic power. She's like Magneto, but can only use gold. Which is cool. I mean, I love the idea.
She is pretty badass.
I mean, she made golems out of the rock.
Yeah, that's true. I do love the idea that you have a villain who is obsessed with gold, and for the first half of the movie, the only line Rita Repulsa says is gold, and then noises. And I think that was the kind of over the top goofiness that I liked about this movie, whereas a villain who is obsessed with finding as much gold as possible because she can only make her monster out of gold and also eats gold. I don't know.
Yeah,
she just loved gold.
Yeah, not being familiar with the Power Rangers and the universe, I thought for some reason
Rita is not like this in the original.
No, but from what was in this movie, I thought for some reason they would be able to influence elements because the rocks, when they had them on the counter at the cafeteria, everything got really hot and there was molten lava coming out of it.
Right.
And she was able to conjure these beings out of rocks. So
maybe they can.
I think though that she has powers. She left the Power Rangers before and got other powers.
I think with their suits, they
they
seem
can breathe underwater in the suits, but not without the suits.
Well, clearly there's some sort of elemental power to the rocks. There's something there that maybe they can tap into. Because she uses her staff.
Yeah.
Is the gym in her?
Yes, it is in her
staff.
staff.
In the staff.
Yeah.
So maybe these rocks do have something.
Some kind of
that would be kind of cool.
They call them coins, which I thought was interesting.
They are coins in the original.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I remember the coins in the original. Yeah, because it was weird. Because the only way they became coins, because at first they were stones, but then they became coins when they were in the obsidian, and they got chunked out of the obsidian, and they came out of circles because the stones were in the obsidian. So it was weird that
they broke open his obsidian with little hammers.
They're the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
How do they get that?
I don't know. I mean, that was more. They had to establish Zack is the crazy one, and they didn't really want to spend the lines of dialogue.
Strong.
So when they found this giant,
Zack is super strong.
They found this giant rock wall. They just had a character who you didn't even really know at this point immediately just go to town with it with a hammer.
Fucking great.
Just more insane shit. It was oh, look at this weird wall with rocks in it. He was great, bang, bang, bang.
Doesn't know if they can even break, just fucking hits them.
That's a quick way to establish character. And then passing them out to people.
We could have seen a shot of him trying to sell it, because that would have made sense for his character, because his family was poor.
Yeah.
But at that point, he was also... I think he was too knocked out. By the time he... anything else would have happened, he would have realized, uh-oh, I got superpowers now.
Yeah.
Now I have bigger concerns.
Yeah.
That's true.
Plus, you can beat up people now and steal their money and still be rich.
Ooh, looking back on the moment before they wake up and realize they're super, I actually really liked that it wasn't one of the movies where they just narrowly, what's the word? Narrowly?
Yeah,
narrowly.
Now it's sounding weird.
I know. They just barely escaped the train. They didn't. They got hit by the train.
Yeah. I still
that
want
was
to
a
know.
non-cliche in the movie.
They never did explain how they got back to their
Also,
beds.
I don't know.
We never had a reaction from his mom about cause
Yeah.
the van
I was gonna be hey, where's the van?
The police would have called and been hey, your car is
your van
True.
got destroyed by a train.
Plot holes.
And then also she's well, my son is in his bed, so someone must have stolen my car.
Yeah, they don't know how they got back either. They comment on it, but that was just a weird transition. I was a little confused.
I still think it's sweet that we had a high-speed minivan chase.
That was fucking dope.
And
that's all I care about, the fact that we had a high-speed chase in a
Jason
fucking
can whip
minivan.
that minivan.
I didn't write it down because Jason does eventually not drive it, and he switches over to Billy. But I was they need to establish if Jason is a good driver or a bad driver. Because in the opening scene, he's very obviously a bad driver.
But in that other scene,
but
he's
in the scene of the van, he's pretty good. And I was I don't know which one. Is he a guy that we want
maybe his
to be in a car?
have enhanced his driving ability.
Yeah, I thought...
They all seem to be able to drive those Zord things.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, the Zords seem to be connected to their brains. So...
Oh, okay.
You're
whatever that weird little...
They did not seem very effective, the Zords.
I don't know. I liked the...
Except for Kimberly's, which is a plane.
Yo,
and is
like I
incredibly
said,
effective.
I would be so jealous if I didn't have the flying
That's
Zord.
what we're talking about. It's the leader, Jason, is in a Zord without arms. And the Pink Ranger gets a plane.
It's a pterodactyl.
That's awesome.
I don't know why, Because, I remember that from the original show, but it just suddenly seems really
Yeah.
unfair.
Yeah.
Because, like, what can a T-Rex robot really do? I guess, like, eat things with its jaws, but it doesn't do that. What we see it
It's
get
what it
obviously
represents.
swarmed by putties, and he almost loses just to, like, too many rock creatures. Like, he was more effective against the putties without his Zord than he was with it.
Yeah. I liked it. I like them learning how to use them.
That's
And
why he had guns.
Yeah, they did just have guns, which was crazy.
that was really
Another
dope.
pro-gun message.
Oh, and of all the... They were so... I know. It's a pro-gun movie. The only thing that can defeat Rita Repulsa is
It's a
guns.
gun.
No, the... oh, shoot. I lost my train of thought.
Whoa, bummer. Well, I can say one of my favorite lines was
Yeah.
when Billy freaks out about being a leg.
Oh, yeah.
Because I was thinking that. I was like, wait, everybody's like a part of the body?
Yeah.
And that would be my reaction.
I was a
if
little
were
bummed. I didn't like the redesign of the Megazord.
Megazord.
Yeah, it
I
didn't...
was not crazy about it either.
Yeah, it didn't focus on...
You and I can agree on that.
Yeah, the original one,
It
was like
Optimus Prime.
it was very much all of the pieces. Like, you could
Yeah.
tell, okay, a leg is yellow, a leg is blue, the
that
head
was
is
a
red,
little
and
weird.
I
I
wanted,
noticed that.
yeah, and I didn't really, it was weird.
There was a
that-
bit of magic going on for this one.
Yeah,
all
but
these
it
extra
bought it.
parts.
Like,
come
yeah,
from.
extra parts are coming in, and I didn't like that as
Are
much.
we-
Like, because when you bought the toys originally, you could buy all the Megazords, and then they would
come together.
fit together because they were made to fit together. And this one, if you bought these toys, there's no way you could
Looked
take...
like a transformer.
Yeah, you
It
could
seemed
take
like
the
they were
Zords to-
implying that, and this, you're even going to hear from me,
Yeah.
this is bullshit.
Yeah. That the lava created it.
That the lava
Yeah.
is heating it up and merging it together perfectly, and
Yeah.
then their friendship is making it turn into a giant
No,
Megazord.
that was pretty stupid.
Could they ever
It
come
was
back
pretty
apart then?
stupid.
I mean, that just ruins... Then they can never
They
separate.
had to get new Zords or something. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know,
'cause-
but they did it.
Yeah.
They found a way after...
Or maybe their peril activated.
I think it's that yeah, because they said the Zords morph into whatever the strongest thing is at the time, and so the Zords were morphing into Goldar.
Okay.
Right, because it recognized that, okay, dinosaurs used to be the strongest thing, but now the strongest thing we've seen is Goldar, so we need to turn into Goldar, because that's what Zords do.
That's pretty cool.
And
That's
that's really
nice.
was their explanation, but they didn't really say that, although I'm okay with them not saying that. I just wish that the design had looked more like the original one.
Yeah.
Although, speaking of Goldar, and I did have this written down, I love, just as a side, that it is... The monster is called Goldar because it means that Rita Repulsa did want to name her monster, but was too lazy to come up with a better name than, like, what's it made out of? Gold? Goldar. Goldar is its name. Like, she was like, I want to name it, but I don't want to think too hard about the name.
She doesn't seem to have a very refined vocabulary.
She just loves gold. She's like, gold's got to be in the name. That bitch is obsessed with gold.
She's a gold,
She can't think of
I
anything
she's
yet.
a gold digger. She is.
That was what I was thinking before. Of all the callbacks to, like, the original series and stuff, including playing the original theme song,
Which
the
was
fact
fantastic. Fight
that
me.
when the Power Rangers got hit,
Oh, I thought my
sparks
fist
didn't
bumping.
come off their suit is crazy. They need sparks
That
flying off
sounds
them.
pretty great.
Because any time in the original show when a Power Ranger would get, like, hit with a sword, because the bad guys always carried swords.
Yeah.
But they couldn't have,
As
like,
one
blood
does.
or, like, slashing or any kind of cuts, so they would hit with the sword, and their suits would just, like, spark really bad.
Oh shit.
And I wanted some sparks coming
I know.
out of their suit. That would have been cool.
That would have been pretty dope.
Yeah.
I liked the suits though.
That was a reference I
the
wanted.
suits were really cool looking.
You can't change that.
The suits were cool looking. I appreciated
Yeah.
the redesign of the Power Ranger suits.
Yeah, they were dope.
Um,
I liked them. That was cool. I was very happy that I got my wide shot
The
of
whole-
all the
the suits.
Rangers.
It
We
would
coming
have
had
out.
two of them.
I mean, if they didn't do that, it would have been.
I would have
just
been really pissed off. And then
ridiculous.
I got a wider shot immediately
Did-
after.
we went into a wide shot and then cut back to even wider. Which the even wider was a little bit weird because I was like, I can't see them now. They're very far away.
And this is a pretty big TV we're watching on.
Yeah.
I was happy with that.
Next note I had was Alex fucking hates cops.
I do. I don't like cops. So
Okay, I just was curious. You know, they found this dead body in the water, and they send a cop who's too afraid to even approach it. It was like, What is it? Why would you send this rookie-ass cop to go examine a
because
body
they
that
probably thought it was nothing, and that they're not gonna waste like the good people on
a body that's clearly mummified. Like if you're on a fishing boat, and it's like, hey, we just pulled a mummified body out of the ocean. Like they're like, well, that's not a big deal.
Let's send Brian.
Yeah, rookie. They found a mummy in the ocean. Go check it out. Whatever.
That's fine.
Dead cop, no big deal.
Oh yeah, that's actually I think about it. That's super unrealistic.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
I was very confused.
They
Okay.
would send a whole team out.
Yeah.
Because it's a body, they would send
Yep.
out.
And yeah.
It stood out.
They would send out. Oh man, yeah, they send out several specialists to be like, hey, what's
Yep.
this?
But not one cop that
Not
is too
an
afraid
Angel Grove.
to approach
Yeah.
the bodies
Not
faster than like
Not in
one
the
step
craziest
every 30
English-speaking town in Mexico.
Oh god, love
That's
it.
like major features are a gold mine. The town has a big old gold mine in it.
I know.
A literal
Yeah,
gold
you'd
mine.
They do have a gold
A
mine.
town with a gold mine in it would be more developed.
Yep.
But no, they rely on fish as their main export, apparently.
Yeah.
I think it's nice how every time like something's going up, Billy always calls out to Jason. Like he has bonded with Jason.
Yeah.
Even when he's about to die, he screams out for Jason. Even though all his friends are there, he always goes for Jason. That's
I am
sweet.
a big fan of the bromance.
Yeah, that was
Really nice.
great. Their whole relationship was pretty developed, despite the fact that Jason is a literal insane person, and maybe that's what finally Billy sees is like, oh, I'm not the craziest person in the room anymore. It's
Which
this
is why
guy
they're such
Jason
good friends.
who makes insane, erratic decisions at any moment with no basis in reality.
They are a group
great.
of teenagers with attitude.
When they all leave the ship. And Zach's like, let's go get to know each other so that we can morph better. So I'm going to have a bonfire in my house. And they all agree to go. And then we cut, and the next scene is Jason, like, going back, presumably, to tell Zordon to go fuck himself. Like, he's just like, hey, Zordon, you asshole. And, like, goes into a big rant. And I was like, wait, what did he tell the rest of them? We're like, oh, I forgot my jacket in there. Hold on, guys. And then he goes back just to, like, I don't know, flip him the bird or something. It was a very weird sequence. And it was more just Jason being crazy. He was like, you know what, I can't let
It's
it
them
slide.
trying to establish him as the leader.
Yeah.
As the one who stands above the rest and will confront
Yeah,
the other.
and then they were like, hey, where you been? He was like, it doesn't matter. We didn't even tell him. Because I think some of them might have complained. Where they're like, hey, where were you, Jason? And Jason was like, I just wanted to tell Zordon he's a piece of shit. And they're like, wait, what? He's our mentor. I'm like, yeah, but he's acting like a real piece of shit.
I don't know, Alpha 5's the mentor to me. He
Yeah.
was the one down in the pit with them.
Zordon was clearly looking at them at the pit.
Oh,
Like,
was he?
well, yeah, you could see a light flash every
And
time
he would-
he was talking to
He
them.
would talk to them, yeah.
So yeah, he was.
I didn't notice that.
He wasn't doing great, but he was trying.
Yeah, remember he said from the pit,
Trying.
that's when they leave, he says, you can't even morph if you're not real Power Rangers, go home.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that's when they leave, and then then Jason comes back for that scene, because they had to get in that thing that he wants to use the Power Rangers' power to get his physical form back.
Got it.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Let's talk about the fire pit scene, because this is
when they're sitting.
the fire pit scene. Whenever I think of this movie, my mind goes to the fire pit scene. I think this scene is beautiful.
Or them carrying Billy.
The one where they're sitting around?
Yeah, the one where they're sitting around the fire, just getting to know each other.
Yeah.
It's a great character moment for me.
It is. It was a little cliche.
That's fine.
Yep.
It was cliche, and the lines, I could have probably predicted every one after the other.
yeah.
But
I could have written that sequence before it showed.
Nonetheless, it was touching, and, it... Man.
I like how the line where like boyfriend troubles, girlfriend troubles, that's fine. Just that little bit amount to show that this is a girl that's confused about her sexuality and not letting that define her character.
Yeah.
I think that's great.
That's the one thing that you've told me about this film is that you liked that they had a gay character without making that the point of the character.
I like
And
how
I
they did the
even
same thing with
forgot
the
about
character on the
that.
spectrum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
really
they
cool.
made it more about Billy's character than they...
A
like, there
little
was a
bit,
little...
but they never made it like
They also
an excuse.
kind of...
They just accepted him for who he was.
He just was, which was fine. But I do think they he has to announce it really early, and they make a lot of references to it, so it's much more.
Well, he never
in your
used
face.
the term autistic.
No.
He said he's on the spectrum.
Yeah, which is true. He probably isn't fully autistic because fully
There's
autistic
a spectrum for a
would
reason.
not.
There's totally different ways in which
Yeah.
people.
No, and I think that it worked. I think his character worked. Although, I think that if they had never said he was on the spectrum, I would have accepted him as just another insane resident of
Honestly,
Angel
I don't
Grove.
remember that. I did not remember that line where he even said he was on the spectrum. The whole time I've seen this movie, I've always thought that they just glanced over that and they had this clearly autistic character.
I'm on the spectrum. What diet is that? Or what was it?
Is that an exercise program or a diet or something?
Funny joke.
Yeah.
But I liked that Jason even made that joke because he knew what it was.
Yeah. I think they did.
Well, that's the problem. I don't understand humor like you.
Yeah. I still think that they had to. Like I said, I think he had to say I'm on the spectrum to make it serious, because otherwise you just think it's like another zany personality, because realistically any of them probably could be diagnosed as on the spectrum for any number of reasons. I mean, the idea that Zack just immediately took a hammer to this nice wall with crystals on it just was like, move aside, and they kept trying to pull him off, and all he wanted to do was bash the shit out of this wall. They would pull him off, and then he would break free and just start bashing it again.
I would say
It's
that's
like
more
that.
ADHD than
Yeah, I mean, he's something. That guy has something.
That's why I like him.
Yeah.
I like him a lot.
He could be diagnosed with some sort of disorder, but we only said, so you have to establish that Billy is on the spectrum. He has to say it, because otherwise you could just be like, oh, these characters are just unrealistic people. But
Need some help there.
they wanted them to be realistic people, I guess. Except for they weren't. Billy was the most real, most normal of any of them, despite being the only one obviously mentioned in the spectrum.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mother's good.
Mother's good.
Mother's good.
Oh, it was really sweet.
I can't say douchebag. Billy, I love Billy.
Yeah, he was great.
I would have
Billy,
loved
you're
to
the real
see
MVP.
a little bit,
Power Ranger.
even if it was just maybe 5 more minutes. I would have loved to see more of Rita Repulsa's, you can't technically say sane side, but I would have loved to see her more fully back.
Where she's not
side.
just saying gold and mumbling.
Yeah, where she's
Well,
not.
she did sit down and enjoy a Krispy Kreme donut.
Which, best product placement ever.
I did. I like that. I really did like the scene where they're fighting over the fork donut, which it needed the payoff because it had to be on the fork for them to do that kind of battle sequence. But I was like, when I immediately saw that scene and she's eating a donut with a fork, I thought, more evidence that these are insane people, because one of them is just fork and knifing a donut.
You've never done that?
Was a cinnamon roll.
No.
Me neither.
That was a cinnamon roll.
Well, I thought it was like a. They don't sell cinnamon rolls at Krispy Kreme.
They actually do.
They do.
I have proof. I was there last night.
I just saw something on the Krispy Kreme box. I didn't know they had perfected how long you should take to microwave a donut, but it says want it hot, microwave for 8 seconds, and enjoy.
Oh, well, that's neat.
Yeah,
That's neat.
but microwave
That's
vary.
right.
So there you go.
But they...
More plugs for Krispy Kreme.
Krispy Kreme, though,
The source of
Krispy
all
Kreme-
light.
that's the source of my greatest treasure,
Yeah.
Krispy Kreme. That's right.
Yeah. And then they have a lot of jokes about Rita Repulsa trying to find out what a Krispy Kreme is.
Where is the Krispy Kreme?
That was very good.
Which
Good job.
I enjoyed that.
That was funny.
Yeah, I enjoyed
Just some cheesy moments that
the
were very acceptable.
super, yeah. Some not so much, and some that were acceptable.
Yeah.
I think that if you are let's say you're Power Rangers, right, and there's a lot of people on the fence, you have to get a big, product placement budget, and Krispy Kreme is we'll fund half your movie if you really plug Krispy Kreme. So you're a writer and you're forced into really shoving Krispy Kreme into your movie. This is the right way to do
He
it.
did it.
See, I didn't even think that. I thought to myself that the writers even said, "Oh, Krispy Kreme is sponsoring us. Well, we're gonna go all out."
We're just gonna go all the way.
Yeah, and I appreciate that they were we really, we're not going to try to hide and not hide our product placement. If we're getting paid for product placement, we're going to really embrace it. We're going to make a lot of jokes about it.
Is that what happened though? Did Krispy Kreme really sponsor?
Oh
it?
yeah, there was.
Yeah.
They had Power Ranger donuts out. There.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that's amazing.
Oh yeah, it was hardcore
Power
Krispy
Ranger
Kreme
donut.
Power Ranger team up.
They weren't that good.
I haven't had a donut.
No,
in
but Krispy Kreme is
6
still
years.
is.
Krispy Kreme is good, but those Power Ranger donuts were meh.
They're not my favorite donuts, but that's fine.
Any
Yeah.
donut would be a nice donut.
Yeah.
Donut Connection in Gainesville. That's
I
the
actually
best.
prefer Krispy Kreme over Donut Connection. That's my
Yeah,
favorite.
well,
donut.
that's
Make a
pretty much
gluten-free
everyone.
Vegan donut.
This you guys being insane in this
It's
town.
the source of all life.
Well, at least Krispy Kreme are fresh donuts.
So are Donut Connection. They're
No, you
fresher
know
enough.
what's better though is Daylight. You been to Daylight?
I haven't been there in a while.
Daylight's really, really good.
All right, well, now we're promoting them.
Anyway.
We should see if they could sponsor us.
Yeah. Daylight Donuts, you want to have a box in our next shoot? Gainesville, Florida, Daylight Donuts, hit us up.
Which I don't even think you can... I think you can only see the box in that camera that keeps turning off.
Boom.
Great.
Well,
Okay,
don't be
right
too
side up.
obvious if Daylight's going to sponsor us. We can't have a whole video with a Krispy Kreme box in your hand.
Yeah, but it just started off with me saying Donut Connection might be better.
Am I getting crumbs everywhere?
Probably.
Well, almost certainly. Anyway.
The last line I had was just Billy's moment was when he was just saying thank you for being my friends as he thinks they're all about to die. It's really sweet.
Yeah. No, I mean, that is a character who I can really get behind as Billy. He was great. He was the heart of the team. He was the only character that made any sense to me. I would watch a Billy solo film.
I mean, they did the right thing killing him off because that hurt.
You want my obligatory Zack Snyder reference?
Of course.
Because I thought it.
Always.
When they're carrying Billy and he's got his arms out like that, I was like, oh, I didn't know Zack Snyder directed portions of this because Zack Snyder loves him some Jesus metaphors.
They did it in Spider-Man 2 as well.
Any Zack Snyder movie, superhero or otherwise, he's going to ham fist somebody doing a cross or just a cross everywhere because he loves his Jesus metaphors. And then I was like, oh, look, this scene of Billy's death brought to you by Zack Snyder. Because it had like some slow motion, it had a Jesus metaphor, and it had like a modern cover of an old song. And those are some big time Zack Snyder things. But you know what? This worked here.
Okay, well,
it worked better than a normal Zack Snyder movie, which is terrible.
It did work.
We have your Zack Snyder rant. How do we fit grapes into this?
Yeah, I don't know if we can.
I'm hungry for some.
Like,
actually, that'd be funny if your son was dating someone and you're like, I'm hungry for some.
You would say that because you hate this discussion.
That's it. Alright, moving on. Grapes.
Grapes.
Twilight.
Good name.
Great, we did it.
Speaking of insane characters, I would like to name my son Grapes, so I'm just as insane as the English-speaking people of the Mexican city, Angel Grove.
Okay, you've said it so many times now that it is my headcanon. These are English speakers in Mexico.
It's this one little pocket of Mexico with a gold mine and all English-speaking people.
A lot of people in Mexico speak English.
Presumably, the minute an American found out there was a full gold mine in Mexico, they immediately colonized that city.
We're out.
I know.
Ballsier than Spider-Man. Bill Hader is my movie guardian. Mini clap by Billy.
Yeah, he did those
clap.
little mini claps.
That was cute. I'm just going through my lines.
And then there were moments where Alpha was clapping with him.
I have to talk about the music. It was a very weird soundtrack for this movie. It was all over the place. They had like some badass Tron like synth music, and then what rap song was playing during the battle?
They seemed that
it is a famous one.
It seemed at some point they
Googled
it's the power. Yeah, that they Googled songs with power in the lyrics, and then they wrote all those down and said Power Rangers songs with the word power in it. There's our soundtrack, and then they would bounce. For like 4 seconds. We'd hear 4 seconds of one song with power until they said the word power, and then we'd bounce to another 4 seconds of a different song.
I need to look up this soundtrack and see the artist on it because it was so...
They never let one song play for longer.
It went a little too all over the place.
You know what song they didn't play long enough?
The
Power Rangers theme song.
It was one of the songs. They bounced from they said Go Go Power Rangers, and then they bounced immediately to the Kanye West song because they couldn't commit to one song.
Yeah, it was a Kanye West song.
Wait, why is that?
That's not the movie. That's the.
I can't believe you're against the Power Rangers theme song appearing because
it was too much.
It wasn't. It really was not in this movie.
So hungry.
Not in this movie.
Where the hell's the soundtrack?
It's called Saban's Power Rangers. Try that maybe.
Power Rangers. It came out in 2016, right?
Oh my god.
17.
2017.
Is that how you say that too? Saban?
Well, I'm going off.
I thought it was Saban.
It could be Saban, but I'm going off Alabama head coach Nick Saban, and that's pronounced Saban.
There are 28 songs.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because they would play none of them for longer than 5
Every
minutes.
song is named Power Rangers.
Yeah.
That's so great. This is so funny. Oh,
except for one that's called Go Go Power Rangers.
This is not working. What's going on?
It's a 1 minute song.
What's happening?
Oh, yes.
Okay, some consistency.
Oh no, these are just all the
Yeah,
Power
these are the
Rangers theme
orchestral.
songs.
Oh.
No, this is 2017.
Yeah, but they put all the
You
original.
can show her the list I pulled up.
I'm so
Here's-
confused.
No one.
Okay. What is happening?
You know what the better theme song is? In the film Speed Racer. Oh shit, is Speed Racer on my top 25?
I just
I
want to see the
don't- no, it's
artist.
not.
I want the
Oh
artist.
man, how do I
artist.
get... Oh no, I intentionally left it off.
Brian Tyler.
I don't know. It's just a weird soundtrack.
It was a very weird soundtrack.
But it says the 2017 soundtrack is all. No, I don't know.
I had fun with it.
I mean, yeah.
Yep.
It was.
Fun movie.
It was fun to watch with you guys. I don't think that I could ever watch it alone, but it was fun to watch with you guys.
We're gonna catch him watching Power Rangers by himself one day
I promise you that will not happen.
because he's gonna be careful.
Okay, I'm just. It's not working.
That's fine. You just do that.
I think that might be it. That's all I got.
That's all I got too. So now we go through our ratings.
Ooh, I
Oh.
don't know. I don't think how we're.
That sounds like a record.
Okay, so like I found the names and of the songs, and they all just say Brian Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. Maybe he just mixed them all. I'm just.
It all just says Brian Taylor.
He might be
It
the...
does. I don't know. It was a very messy soundtrack. It was fun.
It's better than the Gilbert Grapes
One of my
soundtrack.
favorite
That's true.
soundtrack facts is that the lovely Lord put together the Hunger Games soundtrack for Mockingbird.
Interesting.
She did that. She
I
did
think
all that
it
work.
still blows my mind that Trent Reznor did The Social Network.
The more movies we watch, the more movies we have to compare other movies to. It seems.
Yeah! I like it.
That's true.
Okay, so let's rate this bitch. Let's rate this bitch. Sorry, my swear jar. We really need to get one.
I think it's called a curse jar for you.
Oh, the curse jar.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah,
All right.
British was the way to go.
What are we doing these out of? Is like out of 10 or...
Last time we gave it a letter grade.
Letter grades.
But I mean, we could go out of 10
No,
too.
no,
No, let's do something. Let's do something completely different. I don't know.
I have a problem with letters.
Okay.
You have a problem with letters?
No, I just
Well,
couldn't
then-
remember if we did out of 10
It goes
or
A,
letters
B,
or
C,
stars
D, E, F, G.
I give it
H
an A
I J
minus.
K
Huh?
L
A
I give it
minus.
an A minus.
You give it an A minus.
I'm gonna give it a solid B.
Guys are
Minus.
lunatics. You guys are citizens of Angel Grove. That's how crazy you are. I'm gonna give it a D plus.
What?
Wow.
That's
Yeah.
because you're only rating the writing.
No, I'm rating all of it. It's like cliche. I don't think the action sequences were that cool. Like they
Yeah.
remind me very
I
much
don't-
of original Power Rangers.
I don't watch
but they
this
weren't
for
that
the
cool in
action.
the original. But what? Then what are you watching?
I mean,
it
if
for?
I'm
'Cause
okay.
it's not the writing. It's not the action. It's like
If the movie
cinematography.
overall needs a,
Oh, yeah.
okay, I'm gonna give it a C. Okay, that's my final because it's true. Writing, acting, but fun and pretty.
As far as I like the movie, fine. B plus.
All right.
As a movie as a whole, sure. I'm gonna go with a C.
D plus.
Maybe a B minus.
But
So,
definitely worth the watch. You
I'm
know?
sticking with an A minus because the
Oh,
CGI
feet hurt.
and the cinematography.
and I think
Pretty
that's sexy
flawless.
of you.
It was pretty flawless.
Oof, that part of it's so good.
Yeah.
It's just like way up there for me.
We'll watch a Terrence Malick film sometime, Liz.
Okay.
If you like that cinematography, wait till you see Days of Heaven.
All right, great.
Okay.
So
Next week we'll be watching
I'm
one
sorry,
of
that was
my
super
movies.
pretentious. I hated that
Yeah.
I said that.
But I don't know
I
why.
apologize.
That was super douchey.
That's kind of normal for him.
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair.
No, you're
I
not
also
douchey.
really, I
It's
also
not
love
douchey.
the costuming.
I did like
the
the suit.
effort put in the costuming. I love the effort put in the CGI. I love the effort put in the cinematography.
Yeah.
I love
All right.
those things.
well, that's
Anyway,
that.
there we
So,
We'll see you next week
See
when
you
we
next
watch something
Yep.
from my list. But I don't know what.
all right. Well, one of these cameras. Bye, guys.
What are we on? Bye.
We don't know which camera we're looking at right now. Whatever.
Love
Bye bye.
That was fun.
Yep.
That was a fun one.
Jesus, I thought that we talked shorter than normal.
How long?
It was an hour and 9 minutes.
Damn.